Okay, now we're going to tear in or break into this particular cylinder, show you the inside components of it, and go from there. Now, as we said earlier, these are joined together. These are the tie rods. There's 4 of them. I've already removed the other 2. Already pre-loosened them. Remove it. Now, alright, we'll have to remove the ends. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll show you the internal parts. Okay, now, go. Okay, now here's all this stuff we were talking about inside now. Okay, so you remember we were talking about deducting the 2 inches when we were measuring the barrel length. We said this one measured 6 inches, but we also knew it was a 4-inch stroke. So that the remaining part of that 2 inches is from here to here, and this little spot here. All that is equivalent to 2 inches, which therefore leaves you with 4 inches to show you and determine for you what the length of the stroke would be. Now, in this, basically here's what happens. Alrighty. Fluid will come into this port, and I'll show you inside there. There's 2 holes. I'm not sure, are the holes showing up in the camera? There's 2 holes back in here. If you don't see them, just trust me. Alright, so fluid comes out of here. Goes right in behind this piston. There again, all this is happening inside of this cylinder, the barrel part there. So it's coming behind here. Everything's in place and it's inside this barrel. And as that valve is triggering the fluid to go through, the cylinder is extending right on out. And that just traveled 4 inches. It was a 4-inch stroke there. Now, okay, let's talk about the inside components here. As you see here, I'll start off with, let's show you here. Each end of this is beveled slightly. See a little bevel there, and that's so when, like, you're going to put it back together, it does do a better job lining up. With a quick tap, even tap, the best you can to keep from damaging this O-ring. You see that O-ring? That O-ring, that's 2. That one there's 3. We do sell the repair kits for the Grizzly cylinder. And as you see, this particular kit will fit any 2-inch bore cylinder that has the 1 1/16 rod. There again, it needs to be the Grizzly brand cylinder. Other cylinder seal kits will not interchange with the energy. Okay, now components. Okay, there's 3 big O-rings we were talking about. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let's take notice of something else. The O-ring that goes in the piston here, where my pin is. There's a white piece here on each side of it. They are called backing rings. Alright, simply round poly. They feel like a poly type material, but you'd snip them at like a 45 or slant type 45 cut. You could just take these off. Well, here's another example of kind of what happens. That comes out, and it just kind of protects the O-ring, and is a place for the O-ring to slide a little bit when it does, and to keep from getting pinched. It's going up to this poly type protector. There's one on each side of it. There again, a backing ring or backup ring. But that's what it's doing, is protecting. So you would replace those, but of course the O-ring would simply, slide right over it. You stretch it out to find it into its spot. Now, if we can look at this particular seal here, there's a little bit, you might not see a little bit of dark seal right here around this shaft. There's some red splatter paint on it, but there's a seal there, and it's called a wiper seal. This is the wiper seal. Notice it's taper on either side. This drives in there, and it does what it says it'll do. It wipes the cylinder rod off as it's coming back in. Say in farming applications or construction applications, there is a slight oil residue here, slickness feeling. As this is traveling outside, dust, dirt, we stick to it. And as this cylinder comes back in, this wiper seal wipes it off to try to keep things clean inside, because if more grit and things get inside of here or inside on the rod, it'll cause things to, of course, it'll just reduce the amount of pressure that can build up in here, or tear seals or O-rings as they're passing by. That's another thing. So, and then the remaining parts all go inside of this end cap, and you would get there by removing the nut, pulling the piston off, sliding this on out, and then you'd put these components up inside of here. There again, when you're bringing the cylinder back in, fluid would come in here, come back out on this side of the cylinder, on this side of the piston, and travel its way back to a closed position. Now, again, we've talked about the 1-inch pins that went in there earlier. I hope that clears up any matters you have today or any questions you had today on hydraulic cylinders. That's just a basic overview of how they work. And we do stock a range of hydraulic cylinders from this 2 by 4-inch stroke cylinder right on up to a 4 by 24-inch cylinder, ranging in rod diameter from 1 1/16 to 2-inch. So thank you for joining us today and visiting with us at Agri Supply. Have a good day.